Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. This is part 2 of this fancy things like this. And I said in the first part, if you'll Google that, there's some really neat patterns. I'm going to try to figure this out someday. But anyway, through the years, people have asked me how I got to know so much about Corel. Well, it's because I play. So I had this already built, so I'm going to weld it together. So, well, that doesn't work. So let's just do the old-fashioned way with the Smart Fill tool. And we'll move this. Well, I got to set my nudge factor higher. So with nothing selected, change your nudge factor like to 10 inches. And move that out of the way. Smart Fill. Move that out of the way. And then this way, when you left click, right click, and then go to Object and group it together. Now, we want to definitely work in the center of the page on this. Well, you don't have to, but it make it life a lot easier. And we can always test things by putting the indexing lines in the center of the page just to make sure our box is. And you can see they meet right there. So now I'm going to take the twirl tool and I'm going to make sure it's right there in the center. And I'm going to give it a click on it, give a little, well, maybe a little bit more. Let me back up. I need to be right on the center. That might be too much, but that's going to look good. And that within itself is pretty cool. But then if you'll take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in and nudge it over, fill that in and nudge it over, fill that in and nudge it over. Then what we're going to do, we're just going to steal patterns from this. So don't ever move this. You can nudge it, but don't move it. But you can move this. And we're going to go right there and select everything and intersect that. Now I'm going to go down with this one and maybe over. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to nudge it over. We can get rid of that other one. Well, I can just nudge it again. And I'm going to just move my graphic. Now, I do want to get rid of that one because I don't want to have two of them. And then I'm going to select all this, and I'm going to intersect that. And you can see already what it's going to do. So we need one more. We'll take the Smart Fill tool. I'm not going to ever say you're ever going to do this, but it would be pretty cool. Let me see if I can't grab that other one. And let's do like right there. And then select. And every time you do this, it would be different because the placement of these pieces. And somehow I messed up. So let me start over. Oh, it's this one right here. Maybe I, so don't move it. Move your other one. Now I'm grabbing part of that, so I need to get rid of that. And also your pattern has to be grouped together for this to work. And look at that. Now, two ways you could do this, and I found this a little bit of problem in the other one. That comes out funky. So let's take this and select it all and go Object, Group, and Ungroup All, and then get that triangle that's kind of turned sideways and see if we can't pick it. You'll have to get off your screen and then pick that triangle. I think that's the only one in there. And so you could do two ways, and I mentioned earlier in the center of the page. I'm going to go ahead and group this together, and I'm going to move this out of the way. I can just delete it. And since this is a group, I can hit P and put it in the center of the page. Because you could do this two ways. You could fill in all of them, all three of them, or you think, well, this one looks pretty cool. Let's take the Smart Fill tool, and I would start on the outside. Let me zoom in a little bit and do every other one. I would actually put a rectangle around here in case it leaks, but I'm feel confident I don't have any leaks. I should have put a rectangle around the whole thing, but I think it's going to work. So I'm just doing every other one. And because we're working at the center of the page, we can do, all these and to make sure you get them all. But I could fill them all in. There's one little bitty spot right there I want. And then finish every other one. So I could do all three patterns like this, or I could do this right here. Now, if you remember, I grouped it together. So now I can grab that lineage and move that out of the way. Now I'm going to group this together, Control G, Control D to duplicate it, and move our center rotation to that. I'm going to make sure I'm there. So zoom in a little bit. I'm a little bit off. So let me zoom in again. That's one thing about it. You can zoom in. And see, I'm that far off. So I need to be right. It says in the center of this, and it is. Now, I can't remember if I made a duplicate, but I'm going to Control D and rotate it 120 degrees. And then Control D. That's pretty cool. But like I said, you could, it's kind of messed up a little bit in the middle because of the pattern, but it is correct. But anyway, you could either done this or what I did on the other ones. I did that one. I did all three sections. I filled in the half. Well, no, that one's rotated. This one I filled in all three sections. So I've got lines going every which way, and it kind of messes with your eyes. Even though that right there is cool enough. I mean, it looks pretty cool. And of course, you could always take it and make your lines thicker and completely change the graphic look. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit someday, and thank you for watching.